Hello, hello, and welcome to Of All the Places podcast. My name is John Wick. Right over there is...
I'm Katie.
And Pectoralis Major, Ben, behind the keyboard, doing his thing. Katie, I just got to be honest with you. I ate medals tonight, and I'm hoping I don't like burp in the microphone directly. Oh, it's delicious. Chicken bacon ranch sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, I'm into those waffle fries they've got.
The waffle fries are like too good.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, we're going to be doing some burping, so you're going to have to cover me.
Okay, I got you.
Done.
I'll yap my little heart out.
There you go. I'm really excited for today's guest. Patrick Quinn is, I actually don't know him very well, so that's why I'm excited to sit down. I know that he works with Ability Montana and does a lot on the recreational, the adaptive recreational side of that business. Just helping people get out, enjoying the outdoors. Like, how rad is that? That's
the coolest. I don't know him at all.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm hyped.
And he's our first import.
Whoo!
Yeah. We won't say that too loud. He's from a different area code or different zip code.
We all have the same area code here.
Yeah. Dang it. don't put me on a shout that way.
Different zip code.
That's it. That's what I said. Nice. Well, it'll be good to get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, Patrick Quinn, ladies and gentlemen. Juice, give us some of that music.
Of all the places, of all the places, of all the places.
Well, now that we've got Katie's backstory, yeah. We are
Okay.
juiced.
I'm chill now.
We believe you, Katie.
You know, it's been like everybody's reaction. And now I'm just going to do it to prove you all wrong.
That's half of her motivation.
Mm-hmm. For life.
Chill out of spite. That sounds effective. The spite chill.
Well, we're going to get a report from Patrick after the podcast episode.
Yeah.
To just see like how we're progressing on this journey for you.
That sounds good.
Chill trend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chillometer.
Yeah.
The chillometer.
I like that. The
I'll
chillometer.
mark out some data points.
Yeah. All right. We got whiteboards in here.
That's exactly.
We're ready. We can make a graph.
Yes.
Sweet.
Patrick Quinn, what's going on, man?
Excited to be hanging out with you and
Welcome to Butte, America.
well, thank you.
Well, we're technically in Walkerville.
Walkerville
It's our northern
still feels
suburb.
like Butte.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably true Butte.
I mean, probably. But it's always been Walkerville.
Yeah. And even when the city and county consolidated, Walkerville was like middle finger. We're Walkerville.
Yeah.
It seems like, so far it seems like every place in Walkerville has built a porch just so they can look down on Butte, both figuratively and actually.
Maybe a bit, but this is where like the poorest poor miners lived back in the day. Like the top of the hill was where the far deepest underground people lived.
Well, it was
really?
probably the farthest from the mines.
Well, some of them.
I don't know my Butte history.
Yeah.
But it was weird. They put the really poor people up on the hill, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, a lot of Butte doesn't make a lot of sense. It's kind of why we like it.
Yeah.
Like, let's get weird.
Well, I'm a hopeful future Butin.
Butant?
I like
Is that what do you
Bution?
Bution.
Oh, you're
Butte rat.
Butant?
Butin. Yeah, I mean, we're all little
Yeah.
aliens.
Yeah,
here.
we've got to get him to town.
Yeah. This is our first like non-fully Butte resident on the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
You're our first outsider.
You're like a record breaker. Did
So
you realize
welcome.
that about yourself?
I feel it every day.
It's hard. It's hard carrying the world on your shoulders, isn't it?
But I think that hope to one day live in Butte comes through. you know?
Well, I want to know why. I want to know what, but we'll get there.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
Okay.
That's right. Let's back the trolley up
Backing up.
because none of us in this room know anything about you.
No.
And I'll share my first love affair that you and I shared. It was on the on Navy Pier. I think I was drinking something pink. What was that bar?
That makes sense.
It
I
does
love
make
Navy
sense.
Pier, by the way.
It was fun.
Well-
But it was mostly because we went to the conference it was the April conference, the
In
Associated
Chicago.
Association of Programs for Rural Independent Living, APRIL. And I was doing the photos. Patrick was just doing his thing, just making everyone laugh. And yeah, I think we had an afternoon off, and so we all kind of just bummed the city. And we ended up down on the pier, just drinking and walking around, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was nothing. Some days you go to these events and it's, okay, we're going to just go hang out and have the best day we possibly can. And then sometimes you just end up hanging out with people that you feel connected with immediately and you just want to spend more time with. And then their energy creates happiness in you. And then the whole, I immediately wanted to be best friends with all of you. The first, 15 minutes I knew you.
It was good times.
It was a good time.
Patrick, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, what's your job?
Well, firstly, I'm so much more than what I do.
I know. We'll get there.
Okay.
We have to put all the puzzle pieces together here. So
We're
why
setting
were you in
context.
Chicago?
the puzzle.
Why were you in Chicago? Why did you meet John while he drank pink stuff on Navy Pier?
Yes.
I love how
is
that
your
sounded.
job?
Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah. Pink stuff on Navy Pier.
Huh?
Well-
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to just say that you work with my wife, Cassie. And I heard previously about this man named Patrick who I would love. And I feel like she kept him a little bit close to her chest. And that was, you guys knew each other quite a bit before we met.
Maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
Not that long.
It would have been a great 6 months knowing each other.
If you want it to be more dramatic, I can come up with something.
What is your job?
Oh, my
Where were we?
job. I forgot my job.
Oh, God.
This is going to be a long night.
The director of fun.
Whoops.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
No, I've had many jobs. I work in outdoor recreation, and I believe in many contexts. Right now, I work for Ability Montana, which is out of Butte, Bozeman, and Helena, Center for Independent Living. We have a recreation component, and I'm a staff member with them. And I believe that play can be designed in a way that lifts us all up, helps us become better versions of ourselves from all angles. So play isn't always just this natural thing that happens. I think play can be cultivated and created and designed. And that's what I do for a living, and that's what I've been doing in many contexts. My favorite title that I've ever had that I gave to myself was CEO,
Yeah.
Chief Enthusiasm Officer.
There
Wow.
it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
That rocks.
Yeah, because I am that level of a hokey dude. But I mean it.
Well, it's more fun like that.
It's more fun like that.
It's like a reason to do anything.
Yes, exactly. Like, yeah, I want to wear gold rim glasses. You know?
You want some right now? I got extras.
Oh, do you?
That first commercial break, we're going to come back. We'll all be dressed differently.
Different glasses.
That
Oh my
was-
God, we should bust into the costume closet.
Oh, and these guys got some costumes.
That's what I was saying. Because it's real. It's a metaphor, and it's real.
Because it's more fun.
Yes.
It's real.
Yes. What is life if it's not fun?
If it's not fun.
Yes.
Well, how did you wind up doing what you're doing? Like, okay, we might need to back up even further. Are you from Montana?
No,
Where are you from?
way further away.
How far?
I'm from New York State.
Wowza.
Yeah. Like many people that end up coming to Montana from somewhere else. But I'm from the upstate of New York and grew up in the suburbs and mountains of the Adirondacks.
Nice.
Yeah, both ways.
It's pretty up there.
It's great up there. No one really understands. So, when people ask me, everyone, I used to coach a lot of things, and I would say Patrick from New York, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this must be so much different than the city. How are you doing with it?" And I just most of the time I just let them have
Yeah.
whatever their
Yeah.
preconceived were. But when people really dig in, I tell them I'm from I do it in Daniel Day-Lewis terms.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
No.
You don't know where I'm going with this?
No.
Okay, stay with me.
I'm here.
There's Gangs of New York, Daniel Day-Lewis. Mm-hmm. And then there's Last of the Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Aha.
I am a Last of the Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis.
That makes sense.
For those of you who it makes sense, it really makes sense. For those of you who it doesn't, watch both films and get back to us.
Mm-hmm. Some homework.
That's some
For our
early
listeners.
Yeah.
Already.
homework.
Yeah.
You don't know what I look like, but I just every day I want to be running through the forest, shirtless, foot and shoeless, chasing deer.
That's a vision.
That's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
What was growing up like? Were you actually shirtless running through the forest?
I guess in a manner, yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. I had a yeah, I guess I just realized this is actually about me, this podcast.
Yeah.
It's about whatever we want. Honestly.
It's about whatever we want.
Right now we want you.
I grew up loving the woods and being put into the woods by my grandfather, who I was very close with, and did a lot of exploration from a young age. And then solo, I had the type of childhood where I could go out into the woods, and my mother believed that all risk was accounted for if my border collie was with me.
Oh, well, I mean,
Nice.
that's not wrong, I feel like.
It's not wrong,
No.
and I'm here.
Yeah. I too had a babysitter border collie growing up.
So yeah, I was lucky to grow up and be able to be in the outdoors. I think if I were going to pick a part of me that I like to share the most and makes me who I am today, it was all those honest explorations and being allowed to be in the nature. My grandfather had his doctorate in physical education, so he took fun very seriously as well, and she shared that with me in many ways. So I guess if I were gonna hone it to like a quick minute of how that made me, those are the big pieces, and then obviously there's a lifetime of experience.
So that just rolled right into jobs and experiences like high school, college age. Did you continue to spend a lot of time outdoors?
Yeah. So to add to the context of outdoor recreation, I work with people with disabilities. We call it adaptive recreation and adaptive coaching, which, spoiler alert, all coaching is adaptive if you're doing it right. So I don't like that we have to put that word on it. But one of my first jobs was the recreation coordinator for a summer camp with people with disabilities. And I was like 18 years old, and they let me just invent games for people and adapt the games. So if we were doing, let's say, bowling, I would create apparatus where anyone could throw a bowling ball, whether they were in, a standing position, a seated position, any other positions. And yeah, we had a reverse dunk tank where the water fell on you, so anyone could get under it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
we did
awesome.
so those are all sorts of things like that. And those are kind of the jobs that I went after.
But being outside, that takes a significant degree of creativity, I would think, and problem solving. Did that just come natural to you? Or did you see needs and you just figured it out on the fly, or a little bit of both?
That's a good question. Did it come natural to me? I think so. I think I'm my best self when I'm in an environment where I feel like I can just express wildly and outwardly. So when I'm in those environments, that's when the creativity kind of turns on for me. It's not like everyone's got their process for creativity, but I do feel like there is, when you can get into an environment where you can truly just let everything go and be yourself, creative things just happen for me. And that's the coaching world. So for me, there is like an artistic component not in like I'm creating this piece of art, but it is my creative work that I do to coach with people. So I don't know, what was the original question?
I think I asked you what you sound like when you're on a raft in a river.
Thank you for clarifying.
That was the question.
That was definitely the question.
That was the question.
I could just see Captain Patrick. Just Captain Patrick.
Do you have a
doing his
captain's
thing.
hat?
I do have a captain's hat.
You're doing right.
I shouldn't have even doubted that for a second.
I have bins of costumes.
Really?
Yes.
Soulmates.
Okay, I have to do a quick sidetrack because after John met you, he came back and maybe you were coming to town for work or something, but you came up in conversation. I'd never met you. I mean, this is only my second time meeting you briefly. And he was like, I met this guy. I mean, that sounds
Sparks were flying.
but he was like, he is so much like Ben. And I was like, okay, great. Like, awesome. That's so fun. But he wouldn't stop saying that.
No, I'm like, their stature is the same. Their laugh is infectious. They giggle. They just are fun focused. I love everything about those.
But then I do feel like now every time I learn a new piece of information about you, which this is going to be an hour of that, so I guess buckle up. Like like a costume bin or a captain's hat. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are twins.
Of course.
It feels like a compliment, Ben.
No, I feel I'm
It
complimenting
feels like
both
a
of you.
compliment.
Lifting each other up.
But John, I mean, he wouldn't like really let it go, and not like in a bad way. He was like, I can't explain to you. And then I met you like briefly the first time at the store, and you did say something that has to be redacted.
It literally came out of Ben's mouth, but it was Patrick saying
No,
those
right?
words.
It was.
Why does it have to be redacted?
I can't say it on the air.
Oh, come on.
I'll tell you. No, I can't. We would have to
It was
like
great.
bleep it out.
Commercial break.
I recall. Was I reading stickers?
Yeah, yes, but then like you made a comment about somebody,
Oh.
and you used some verbiage that would have to be redacted from the podcast.
Are all of our listeners, do they have Protestant sensibilities?
Yes,
Do they?
but I just like I whipped around because I've never heard anybody else say that exact thing. It's like a very specific thing. It's an insult, but it was very specific, and I was like, no shit.
And then
They
it all
are, and
tied
then
the
it
room
just
together.
all clicked, and now you've got a costume bin. So I'm just like, wow.
Well, I do want to say, Ben, I recently harvested, but I did once have lettuce like yours. Yeah. I harvested this for Funksgiving, which happened to be where I saw you for the first time.
That's
playing your
the
beautiful
overlap.
tunes.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is wild.
You didn't even know. Now you're here.
Now we're here.
So that was my sidetrack
No,
about
that's
the
wonderful.
costume bin.
And
the
you were
captain's
really
hat.
delicate about those words, so I want to
I can't say that.
applaud you.
And people can infer whatever they want, but I cannot say that on the air. Not live on the air. And they'll just have to live with that. I don't like to be a secret keeper, but that one we've got to keep
I
close.
honestly don't remember what I said.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It was good. It was that good.
It was but I've never heard anybody else say it like ever besides Ben, or like somebody that like has repeated it after they heard Ben say it.
Okay.
So
Well, for people who are never going to know what we said, I'm sure it came of love. Even when I say things that are inappropriate, it steers back to a recognition of
no, 100 people that know Ben also know that.
we're all people living in this world.
Yeah,
we truly
we're out
are.
here.
We're out here and expressing ourselves, and sometimes we do it well, and sometimes we do it naughty.
You're right. Wow, I like that. Sometimes we do it naughty.
No.
Oh, okay, we have to
gosh.
get back on track.
Yeah. So your mullet. We talked about your mullet,
Mm.
and then what spawned that?
Well,
Wait, do you have a mullet right now?
I do.
I can't like tell because you have a hat on.
I do. I can't show you.
That's fine. There's a lot of stuff that we can't say or show here tonight.
You can't
apparently.
say I can't show. No, I have a mullet, and I am. So a little more about me. I'm 37 years old,
Oh wow!
and I got my first mullet at 37 years old.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Just an honest.
I like
Great.
that.
It's an honest Walkerville mullet.
You fit right in up here.
I fit right.
You might not
in
even
up
need
here.
to lock your doors around these parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the mullet?
I'm just, the motivation behind the mullet is intriguing.
Oh yeah.
It was genuinely. The hair was feeling heavy, and Funksgiving's around the corner.
All right.
There wasn't much more of a thought to it.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes less is more.
I agree.
What's your sign?
I don't know.
When's your birthday?
July
July what?
16.
I guess you don't have to disclose if you don't want to. Sorry, that was pretty
And your
pushy.
social security number?
That was pretty pushy. Okay. All right.
No,
What does that mean?
July 16 is my
Water.
birthday.
Water sign?
Yeah.
I don't know any
A
of the signs.
Cancer.
Is that a good?
I'm surprised by that, but not in a bad way.
Okay.
My
go
mom's
on.
a Cancer. So that actually makes sense. My mom's really fun.
Are cancers not supposed to be fun?
No, they are. They're usually just like cry a lot. I guess that's a gross generalization.
They're
You don't think
crying.
fun people
seem-
can cry a
No,
lot?
I mean, I'm fun and I cry, but
Okay.
no, you seem more impulsive than that. But also, what do I know? I'm not an astrologer. I just do my horoscope on the internet.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. No, I'll play the horoscope game if you want to play.
I don't have anything else to add to that. That's like the extent of my
I've always
knowledge.
had an issue with the horoscopes, not because I don't think anyone should subscribe to whatever they want to subscribe to, but I don't like it when we get narrowed into descriptions outside of who we just feel to be.
Well-
Why can't we be everything?
Well, I think that's people aren't going deep enough. So I do have a friend that's an astrologer and she's like legit. And most people just know about their sun sign, which is the one like you're a Cancer. But that's just not all of the planets are somewhere when we're born. And so all of the planets in all of those signs, we're not just one thing. We're all of these different things and they all inform who we are. So it's when you look a little deeper, it paints a better picture. Because I can be on board with like, you're not just one thing. And not all cancers just cry all the time.
They might though. We don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But it's like a fun game. But when you go deeper, there's like a lot more to it that makes it less general because like the odds of you having the exact same planetary configuration as anybody else.
Oh my goodness.
Slim.
Sounds like something a real chill person would say.
I think so.
I think so. No, I don't know. I've never heard it put that way. So I like learning about these things.
Yeah. Well, I've like learned more recently just because I have a friend that's like very into it. And it's very interesting to learn more. And it makes more sense like that. She's like, yeah, everybody's doing it wrong. Like somebody's just writing your horoscope. It's not like like the ones in the newspaper. My grandma clips those out and sends them to me. They probably don't mean anything.
That's great.
But it's just for fun.
Probably
Just AI
don't
generated.
mean anything.
It means your grandma loves you. That's what that means?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I
That's good
love
enough.
that. And I will read them every time. But okay, sorry. That was God, I'm really full of side tangents tonight.
That's perfect.
But I'm trying to
Get
dig
deep.
in.
Let's get deep. How'd you get to Montana?
I took a job at a ski resort as a ski instructor with some friends who'd been out here before and fell in love with the place. Both of my friends who came with have now gone, but we stay connected. And then the opportunities to do the things I love outside stuck around.
Yeah, they're all over.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of evolved me from other places to hopefully one day Butte, because I just want to be in this environment, the hills, the mountains, the rivers, all of it. There's several lifetimes to live just in the outdoors. And I want to do that for myself and I want to do that with others. That's why I'm here, just because there's the max capacity for me to be that way compared to other
It's true.
places.
Yeah, absolutely.
I came to Butte or Montana for one reason, and I stay because of that. And then everyone I meet who wants to do that stuff, we've become a community, and that's why I'm here.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I'm curious how you go from general outdoor recreation as a recreationist to more of a niche angle at that industry with the adaptive sports? You mentioned earlier that you started doing that young, but how do you get into something like that?
I started it young, so it was always there in my mind as something that went on in the world. Most of that work is volunteer work, so it doesn't lend itself to making a career out of it. So I did other things for a long time. And I would say I went to school with more of an engineering style of work, and coaching for a while and having some engineering brain stuff in me has led me to really be able to adapt an experience for different people, whether that's for equipment or whether that's just how we change the use of our body. But how did I guess I got frustrated, what I would say. You were right on when you said I'm an impulsive person.
Well, it takes one to know one.
Takes one to know one. Takes one to know one.
So that's not a dig.
Can we just call impulsive people from here on out just like gold rimmed glasses people?
Yeah, I like that.
You know,
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm on board.
I'm gonna get a set just like yours.
Okay, great.
I'm an impulsive person, and I feel big feelings, and I've sometimes reacted really in healthy ways, and sometimes I've reacted in unhealthy ways. But what I appreciate about myself, whether it's unhealthy or healthy, is that when things don't feel right, there's like a reaction. And I learned a lot doing what you would quote unquote mainstream recreation, and a lot of that revolves around people that are doing well financially, hiring me to help, and those people, those people can elevate their life with play and love, just like we all can. And while doing that, I got frustrated that there are other groups that aren't treated the same way. And so I'm, as an impulsive person, I like the first time I really dove into this work, I took like a half pay cut. Like I make this much a year. Now I'm going to make half of that this next year. And I felt really good about it.
Sign me up.
Mike, sign
Yeah.
me up. Because I want to be pushing myself in new ways, and hopefully on top of something that this world has taught me is that we can all be advocates. On top of like following my joy, I want to advocate for all the different parts of recreation to make the same kind of money, or to make it be a viable, real job opportunity.
Would you say that the work is more meaningful?
Would I say that work is more meaningful? No, I don't think the work is more meaningful. That might not be the answer you wanted.
I'm just curious. Because I feel like a lot of people who have the means to just go out and do the fun,
Yeah,
they can just go out and do the fun.
sure,
And they almost take it for granted.
sure.
But for those where going out and having the fun is a little bit more challenging, if you can help bring that fun to them in some ways, it feels more meaningful.
I hear what you're saying. So the reason, I think the obvious answer is yes, it's more meaningful. The reason I said no immediately is because I'm going to change meaningful to necessary is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked with people of all economic brackets, and when coaching goes well, it's meaningful. Like even
that's
for
fair.
people that, or not even for, but you can learn something about yourself. You can, someone who pushes themselves to do hard things that they didn't think they could do before, that fills your ability to see yourself in a nicer way, to empower you, to that the self-esteem. So meaningful, it's meaningful for everyone to get outside and to play. Is the world of adaptive, I think it's, for professionals, it's necessary that we go in this realm, because there are people that are being left out, or there are some people in this world where there are more boundaries to access that. So it's equally meaningful for everyone. I think it's very necessary that we engage with who's being left out, and why that is. Is that a little heady? Is that too weird?
Nothing is too weird. Not here. Look at where you are. A lot going
Dojo
on.
of trust right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question.
That was a great question and a really excellent answer.
Well, I think a lot of times people, like, when you have the means to do something, let's take downhill skiing, the industry of downhill skiing, for example. It's outpricing so many people.
Sure.
And so many people without means just can't enjoy it. And that's sad. Like, that should be something that we all get to do and we all get to enjoy. And even though it's not means financially, you're in the world of adaptive rec, so that could be the means physically.
Yeah. No, the money is definitely a barrier. But recreation can go in many directions. I'm going to do a shameless plug, and then I'm going to get back into the why we do things.
Plug away.
May I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I? I don't know.
We're here for you.
You're here for me?
This is all about you.
And I'm here for Ability Montana.
.org.
.org.
Perfect.
When you come to Recreate with Ability Montana, we do not charge fees. I think that's just important to know. We
That's a
try
big
to,
deal.
when possible, we try to remove that as a barrier, because there are several other barriers that are there. So whatever we can, alleviate is fantastic. Yeah, and that goes to say skiing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Have you looked at the names of the humans that invented skiing?
Like Olaf.
Like the Norwegians.
Svensson.
It's like
Yeah.
Snowshoe Thompson. It's like they went to like this like clown college and they said, what would you invent if you could invent a sport? You know? Yeah. Well, I want to strap some floppy things to my feet and I want to move around the world. Historically accurate, I know. There was
We've
a
got
very utilitarian version of moving through snow-packed environments.
We've
But I
got a team of fact checkers
Okay.
on staff.
I'm fact-checking myself, okay?
Yeah.
I know it wasn't a clown college,
Well,
We also don't know that yet.
wait, not quite yet.
but it darn
Nobody's
well should have been.
fact-checking.
Do you see people out there? Like, of all the things humans have created, skiing's ridiculous.
It is pretty wild.
No, if you like sit back and can you imagine if you had no idea or concept that skiing even existed and somebody just like took you out there and plopped you in the middle of the hill and you just watched all these humans do that? Your mind would be blown. You'd
This
be
is
like,
ridiculous.
what the hell is this?
You sit in a chair in the sky.
Yeah.
That alone blows my mind.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And that like so many professional people have created an industry around it that now makes bunches of dollars. It's like this weird dichotomy of like, oh, we're going to make a bunch of money. But deep down inside, we're all just silly little biscuits. you know? Like
Feel like a silly, goofy mood.
we do need this. You know, we do need to play.
Yes.
Like, I think it's one of the best versions of that. But then only a percentage of the people are really ever going to ski because it's a ridiculous thing. I love it. And on top of skiing, because you can obtain these benefits of being outdoors, and you can design play in recreation that doesn't involve skiing. It becomes, every year I coach, I become a better coach, I hope. I'm going to tell myself that because I try to learn every year. But it becomes less about the activity and more about the outcomes of what we're trying to obtain.
Specifically, what do you mean by that?
So like whether you are rafting or biking or skiing or hiking in the woods or drawing, painting something in, some natural scenery or bird watching, XYZ, you can gain the benefits of that. Nature will challenge you to look at the world a different way, feel a different way, move a different way. It doesn't need to be these expensive sports all the time. So that's what I'm saying. I didn't know we were going to talk about this tonight.
Here we are.
And here we are.
We get into it.
Do we get into it?
Yeah, I mean, well, we do. You don't
Where-
have to.
Yeah. Can I just ask? I want to throw it back to the board, and it's okay.
Okay.
She's disgusted.
Face.
She's
No, I'm
This is
ready.
a-
First of all, I'd
one-way
like to say you're so chill. Were we recording when we talked about your chill factor? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, good.
We've got power with the editor.
just to get, I've never spent a lot of time out, or I haven't really spent any time outdoor recreating with any of you, but
Right.
Where does this connect for you? Like, is this an outward concept? Is this something you feel, not
No.
feel?
I mean, I grew up downhill skiing.
Okay.
I also grew up rodeoing and with a bunch of horses. So I've spent like most of my life, or way more of my like childhood and stuff, but outdoors in some
Okay.
way. So
And what kind of impact did that, do you think, might have, what did that do for you?
I don't even know because I don't know an alternative. Right? So I don't like it was such a big part of my life, like being outdoors
Sure.
in those ways. I was more outdoors more than I was indoors all seasons because I had something to do all season. And it was for fun and it was also required of me because I had animals. But I don't know anything else. I don't know how I would have been any other way. It wasn't really an option. And it just, so I'm sure it's a massive part of who I am, but I honestly don't even know what it would look like if I hadn't done that. I can't imagine it.
What do you think? This is Katie's session. How do you think growing up with these lessons you learned about yourself outdoors, how do you think it played a role in your music and what you do now?
Well, God, I don't know. That's
Or
a hard
did it?
question.
You know?
It probably did. But I just don't know that I can even give an informed answer because I can't even like imagine an alternate universe. I get like I can probably if I like think about it really
Well,
hard.
it's just like
but-
your music career it feels like it might be about the opposite of outdoor recreation.
well, it's definitely not
but it-
outdoor recreation.
yeah.
It's indoor recreation.
But it should we're kind of all of us sum of our parts, right? As some of our experiences.
Okay, if you want me to get really here, okay, let me give a really good answer.
Let's get heady.
Yeah, we're gonna get super heady. Here's the thing about how I think outdoor recreation in general, informed all of my life and has set me up to have a music career and do whatever I do whatever any of us do. And it's because I am fortunate enough that in the outdoor recreation that I was doing, I didn't feel any limitations. Even if they were there, I was around people who helped me bust through any hard times, any limitations, and feeling empowered all the time because anytime you're outside or you're learning something new or you're taking care of animals, learning a new skill, you just like bust through your internal barriers. And so then you just become this thing that doesn't feel like you have internal barriers.
Mm-hmm.
You just are like, well, I can do whatever because I grew up and learned through however you learned. But for me, it was skiing, rodeo, these like pretty intense, like athletic things. And that took a lot of time and energy that I can just like I can do anything. Like that level of empowerment has just carried through to all aspects, including my heavy indoor recreation career. But I think that's the smart answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Did you feel like you needed to give a smart answer?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I felt pressure. You've been giving a lot of smart answers.
I have?
I think so.
But I'm just a silly little biscuit.
Well, same. But we're giving smart answers.
No,
Yeah.
I like it. You gave a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's the
I'm good at school.
yeah, and she reads fast. I learned that.
You're good at school, but
previous
think,
episode.
like you did so many things. Like that's a lot of different activities.
I've lived a lot of lives. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just was set up for that. And I'm grateful that I had people that encouraged me basically wanting to explore any avenue I wanted to explore and fostering that however they could. And then, like, if I wanted to do something, I just had to do it. But, like, I had to do it. Nobody was coming to hold my hand and do it for me or with me. They were like, great, you want to do that? Like, we'll provide the necessary means and the vehicle, like, for you to be able to do it, but you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, that you probably have to manage risk a lot, and what Katie's saying, my mind immediately goes to you can accomplish hard things in outdoor recreation within this framework of risk. And sometimes it's riskier and sometimes it's not, but you exist within this bubble of like you're doing some kind of gnarly shit. And you can do it.
We can say shit.
We
Yeah.
can now. I broke the ice.
I said shit first, I think.
The shit barrier broken.
The shit barrier has been burst. Go on.
But yeah, so you've probably got to when you're coaching and you've got a group of students, kids, whoever you've got going on, like you've got to mitigate risk while staying inside of that bubble. And I think that probably allows for confidence building and skills that people learn about themselves that they can take into other arenas.
Yes. I'm just realizing this is like a cupcake conversation. Like you're steering it right into my self-indulgent, frosting all over my beard kind of a conversation. So I do appreciate you keeping it in my wheelhouse. This is wild.
You're the expert tonight.
This
This is all about Patrick.
It feels awkward and so fun.
Well, it should. I don't want you. Don't feel awkward, but
We are supported by Casa Grande's Steakhouse. My goodness, you can't beat that hand-cut Rocky Mountain beef with that perfect amount of signature Casa Grande seasoning. Just let me dive into one of those petite fillets. You got to go medium rare with that, Katie. It's literally a religious experience. What's your go-to meal at Casa Grande's?
the Arts spicy cream sauce
Yes.
pasta,
Mhm.
that is like crack. I'm
sure.
totally obsessed.
Like I said, religious experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the whole menu is truly off the charts. I'm talking made-to-order pastas, chicken, seafood, of course. We can't say Casa Grande Steakhouse without sushi night. If you miss that, you're straight up missing out. Every Thursday, sushi night. Thank us later for that. Casa Grande Steakhouse, you'll literally never be disappointed.
And you'll never leave hungry.
For sure. You should actually just order a to-go box with your meal. Casa Grande's is located inside the historic Bertoglio building at 801 South Utah Avenue in Uptown Butte. Casa Grande Steakhouse, where you'll always be welcomed as a part of the family.
We are supported by Steele's Furniture and Appliance. John, this seems insane, but do our notes say they've been in business for 94 years?
That is 100% correct. And hey, kudos to our crackpot team of factoid checkers. Yeah, Steele's is a fourth-generation business located right here in Butte. They're selling just about everything you need for every room of your house. So Serta, Beauty Rest mattresses for the bedroom, Maytag and Amana, KitchenAid kitchen appliances, Lazy Boy and Stanton and Ashley furniture, all sold industry-leading products. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but to anybody out there, just know that Steele's is literally like the largest furniture and appliance warehouse in the area.
And the one thing that they offer that sometimes gets overlooked is their home accents and seasonal items. Those are the real pops of personality that make a house truly your own.
I daydream about getting home every day after work and sitting down for the rest of time on my beautiful sectional couch that I got from Steele's. That's literally one of my favorite grown-up purchases I think I've ever made.
Steele's Furniture. How can you not love a business that's been around longer than, I don't know, the television?
Like the old picture box.
Shop online at steelsfurniture.com, or better yet, head on over to 800 South Wyoming Street in Butte, Montana.
Katie, one address for you. 146 West Park Street. Tell me what you know about that corner.
It's the corner.
It's the corner.
I'm not great at geography, John.
It's also not geography.
Oh, God.
That is Montana and Park Street, right where Taco del Sol is. We are supported by Taco del Sol. Ugh, and that burrito bowl, give it to me.
Okay, John, but I'm a pita pit girl.
That's not geography either.
Well, you're right. I don't know what it is. But we're also supported by Pita Pit.
Pita Pit's so good. Ugh. Why are we so lucky with these restaurants uptown?
I don't know, but those two spots are like my go-to for lunch in town. It's quick, it's fresh, it's delish.
I mean, my hack is that burrito bowl.
No,
Right.
I mean, I am a big fan of the burrito bowl. And did you know that the Taco del Sol in Butte actually has some stuff that the other Taco del Sols in like Montana don't have? Because there are other ones in Montana, but you can only get like the mango salsa and the Southwest barbecue sauce like here in Butte. Those are things specific to the Butte location, which I think is so cool.
Really? I'm a
Yeah.
mango salsa guy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's just a Butte thing. So you got to come to the Butte, Taco del Sol. And I've been a Pita Pit fan forever.
Ugh, the falafel pita.
That is my go-to. I'm not even joking. That is what I
Yes.
get. It's so good. It's just when I'm craving just a quick, delicious, healthy lunch, I'm just waltzing into Pita Pit. And it's always so quick that
I mean, here's the thing. We're all busy, right? And
Yes.
so it's hard to get like quick, good, healthy, fresh food. Pita Pit, Taco del Sol, hand in hand
oh yeah,
with awesome.
it meets all kinds of needs. You're not in the mood for one, you're definitely going to be in the mood for the other.
Yeah.
They've got bowls, salads, wraps, tacos, burritos. I mean, across everything.
And smiles.
And smiled. I mean, everybody that works there is so great.
Yeah.
And
Golly.
I just will eat some queso, even though that's naughty for me, but I love it.
Taco del Sol. Do you remember that geography lesson we had earlier? 146 West Park Street in Uptown. It's on the corner of Montana and Park Street.
And Pita Pit is right next door at 140 West Park Street.
I can get on board with that.
140, 146 West Park, right on the corner. Stop in. Tell them you said hey.
And just eat it all up.
Enjoy. Awkward, but
So
it should feel fun, but people need to be better. People meaning you and everybody.
I need to
be
be better.
at celebrating themselves.
Sure. And I
So this is-
appreciate you
we're
for
celebrating you.
you know that I take risk, and I appreciate you bringing it up. I take risk very intentionally. Risk is awesome, and was the question essentially where has risk play in my life, or what, like risk management?
Yeah. And like, what's the point of it?
What's the point of it?
Yeah.
The point of it is to engage with it. Has anyone here ever heard of the idea of right to risk?
No.
No? Like,
No,
we all
I
have-
really haven't.
No, I didn't. I realized that my tone meant something like, you idiot.
Do you think it's not just for the bit. I'm not like,
That is
yes,
not
tell
what I
us.
meant
I don't
to-
know.
That's not what I meant to portray. I'm
So disappointed.
I meant to say, yeah, right to risk doesn't come up often. And when we talk about human rights, like
Yeah.
through pluralism and difference, one of my human rights is the right to risk. And do we protect that for people?
Oh.
Essentially, risk is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's safety and there's risk. If I'm going to do an outdoor activity or recreate in any way, indoor, outdoor, I'm not going to be like, come hang out with us. This is safe. You know what I mean?
Doesn't have a great ring to it. You're
Doesn't
right.
have a great ring to it. And it's a dirty, dirty lie.
It's true.
Guess what? We're all going to die and life isn't safe.
Wow. that got dark.
Did it get
Now
hard?
we're gonna die.
Not
I
a
mean,
For
Yeah,
those who
you're
are
right, you're
listening,
right.
I said that with a smile on my face because
It's true. He's smiling.
if
He's
we
looking
can
right at me
shift,
smiling.
if we can shift from trying to be safe all the time to understanding that risk excites us, and we can actively manage it and inform ourselves of how risk can make our lives better, and we can allow it. Like growing up, I used to rock climb a lot, and
That's risky.
at a young age, and people would be like, or my family would be like, "Well, do it while you can. It's so dangerous, And I'm like, "Well, no, I'm going to do it forever, and I'm going to learn how to manage the risk better every time I do it." And that goes to say for the people that I work with now, like people with disabilities, this to bring that risk conversation into this and the right to risk. I want to inform people on the risk and have people make their own decisions to the best of their capacity and allow them to experience risk at a managed level that excites them. That's, we were just talking, I was in a training the past 2 days with volunteers who are going to work with our crew. And one of the assumptions that was brought up about people with disabilities is that they're fragile and that they need to be like put into this bubble sometimes, or maybe separated from an activity that's perceived a lot. One thing I come across in my world a lot is, oh no, we're not going to, people with disabilities can't do that. But there's no actual thought to why are you saying that? Mm-hmm. I think it's just this automated, any risk is bad for people with disabilities. And that's what we're trying to shift. Another shameless plug alert. You ready for the freight train?
I'm ready.
Choo choo.
Is that it?
Nope.
Oh. That's okay.
I don't know why, but like connecting eyes with you with your gold glasses and you're holding a pillow that is a disco ball.
Disco ball. That's right.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm drawn to it.
It's very glittery.
It's very glittery. No, shameless plug alert. I also have a side business called Sassy Adaptive.
Oh.
Sassy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little side hustle.
Little side hustle. We put the 3 S's in safety is one of our taglines.
Come get sassy.
Another tagline is we put the 3 S's in fun. But part of Sassy is to create training programs and the outdoor rec space that allow people with disabilities to gain professional risk management knowledge to use for themselves and to train others. And because that's a gap I've noticed. That's where Sassy came from, is a gap in that. So I just danced around risk all sorts of ways, but I think that risk is awesome and we should embrace it.
And we should keep dancing.
And we should keep dancing.
Wow. That's deep.
That's sassy. That
was
could be
a-
your next tagline.
Man, I just love going on a good old cupcake diatribe. Whew. That
I like that. I never heard that before either.
That was
Frosting on
tasty.
his beard and everything.
That one was tasty. For me, I don't care whatever anyone else thinks.
I think they can also taste it.
That's coming through. That's definitely coming through.
Yeah.
Patrick, what's your favorite rec?
Recreation?
Yeah. Like, what do you do when you want to just go have
Yeah.
fun?
My personal favorite recreation? I would say overnight river trips are my number one.
Where should we go this summer?
Oh, we're going to go so many places. We're going to jam pad it all over Montana.
I've never done an overnight river trip.
You're kidding me.
Great.
I'm not.
They're just
So
fun.
serious. It's a heart attack.
I think I would love to have you on a river trip.
I think I'd be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super big on camping, but I will do it if there's other activities attached to it. That's like my problem is a lot of people are just like going camping to like do what? What are you doing?
just
So I think I could get on board with camping, but we're like doing an activity.
What is the doing? Like what is the not doing about camping that you don't like?
I know people that just straight up go out into the woods and go camping and do no act. They just sit around out there or like wander around aimlessly, which I get. I mean, that's
You're so chill.
Oh God!
Just walking right into that.
I am every time.
You are.
And I get that that's probably relaxing, but it wouldn't be for me. And I love that is for some people. Like, truly, I think that's great. But
Like the pinnacle of their experience is like setting up their camp chair.
in front of their fire and like
Yeah.
like literally sitting there, and maybe they're doing more than that, but in my mind they're not, and I know people that are not. So I need like an outdoor activity associated with the camping to get on board with the fact that I'm camping.
Right on. Yeah. The river life, sometimes people like the passenger life where you get on a boat, you sit on a boat, that's kind of what you're talking about. It's just, there's not much.
Yeah, but I'm on a boat. I mean, I'll do anything to get on a boat.
Right on.
All I want to do is be on the boat. If anybody's got friends with boats, I'm ready to make some friends.
We're accepting emails for
Yes.
boat reservations at any point.
Yeah.
We're going to jam pad, which is a different kind of boat.
I've seen the jam pad.
You seen the jam pad?
I've seen the jam pad. I can totally get on board with the jam pad.
Yeah, those are.
Well, that's, yeah. I mean,
That's a party.
That's my favorite. And I think you might, there's so much you can learn while doing it or try. Like there's the camp parts of it, and you can bring activities and instruments and lawn games and all the things that make that space awesome. I also think it's cool to just sit in the space and hang out too, just like do both.
Maybe I just have to go camping and do nothing. That's part of my chill journey.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
But I'd like to do something, like I like to do an activity that's trying something new. Like I'm like, yeah, I'll go on a river trip. I've never done it before. Sounds like a good.
We could
time.
just jam pad the Jefferson River for 3 days.
And get attacked by otters.
Well, that's the risk that we're.
Well, and I've done it. I have floated the Jefferson a million times. I've never been attacked by an otter. So I think people are just
did the
not
otter
being
come
smart.
from?
I'm not afraid of the otters. Maybe I should be.
Well,
I don't know.
And it could happen to anyone. I guess that was a little harsh. I could fully get attacked by
I
an otter.
heard the story told by the mouths of
The otters. Straight from the otter's mouth.
straight from the attackees of the
Oh,
otters.
God. Yeah.
There's a podcast about it out there.
Yeah.
I think they were just in a bad place.
It could happen, but it could
They
happen
didn't do
anyone.
anything.
Yeah.
it was just-
It could happen anyone.
but to say that
Risk
we're going to go
management.
on the Jefferson and get attacked by otters, we're not going to get attacked by otters.
I know that. I've been on it a lot of times and not gotten attacked by otters. I was being a smart ass.
immediate worst case scenario.
Smart ass over here.
No, because I've done that activity a bunch and had
But
no
actually-
negative repercussions except a bad sunburn.
The Jefferson River is a great idea for a jam pad overnight.
Yeah, it's a big, wide, sweet river.
I'd be into it.
It's right there.
Let's do it. Let's plan it this summer. And that, and then the other thing I like to blend with which is a little more of a controversial favorite activity,
Oh.
but my second would be hunting.
No,
And I like to
Oh.
blend rafting and rivers and hunting. Those are my two.
What do you do all of the hunting, or are you one?
Humans.
non-discriminatory.
What do you mean? I do have limits. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I mean well, animals, like animal specificity, or like bow hunting versus like with a gun.
I
grew up in Montana. I don't tell you
you grew up in
with a
Montana.
gun. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I enjoy big game hunting with a rifle. I hope to get into the archery world as I grow and learn. And I love bird hunting as well. So those are my two focuses when I'm out. Bird hunting and boating in Montana blend together really well. Another reason Montana is so special compared to other states and things. So I do that a lot. And
Can you explain that to me? What does that look like
bird hunting
on a boat?
on a boat? Well,
You just float, or is it because it's public? High water line to high water line is public.
yeah. So there's that reason
So-
that Montana is so great because we have let's talk stream access laws. Montana is so
I'm in.
great because it has one of the best stream access laws in the nation. Where high water mark to high water mark is public domain. You can stand in it, be in it, walk in it, boat in it,
It's
do whatever
awesome.
you want in it. And then on top of that, the regulations for hunting, so separate from the stream access law, are you can shoot from a boat at birds if they land in public domain. So like if you're floating through private land and birds are flying by, you can shoot them as long as they land in the water. And that's jump shooting. So we sometimes we'll jump shoot and hunt a stretch while we're fishing a stretch. They call that the old cast and blast for our savvy listeners.
Sassy.
I've never heard that and I love it.
You never heard that?
No, I'm not a hunter.
Again,
Oh.
the tone. I love the tone.
I think we have a good back and forth. Okay?
Yeah.
He's just as sassy as I am.
I feel like a referee here.
And
Duking
then
it out.
sometimes you do the more relaxed version where you go to a place and you float to a place in darkness and you set up a bunch of decoys and your boat is your blind, so you hide in it and you wait for the birds to come to you. So there's so many different ways to hunt, but I think what I love about the hunting is just the opportunity that I get to be in nature and studying the world around me and trying to learn from it. I think people see hunting as this sometimes like consumerist thing where I'm taking from the world, and I am taking from the world, but what I'm taking is not like this attitude that I want to kill everything. It's that I want to learn from the world and how are all the systems connected, and I love that. So another real, I don't know, we're getting light and we're getting heavy.
Yeah, we're keeping it up and bringing it right back down.
Mhm.
But I will say, I feel like Montana's special because the other hunters that I do know here, I mean, because it's Montana and there's a lot of people, like they all have that mentality. You know, the people that live here and grew up hunting and fishing in Montana, like really respect the whole ecosystem and appreciate everything about what like hunting teaches them and informs the world and
Well, they're
how it provides.
They're a very thoughtful community, I think. There's not a better outdoorsman than a hunter, I don't think.
I mean, there's some bad ones, but there's bad ones doing
There's
everything.
bad ones
but
doing
there's bad,
anything.
there's bad people doing everything.
But as far as like respecting your harvest and the area that it came from, like there's no better than hunters. At least in my experience.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And most of the hunters that I hunt with and know, like, have a better grasp on conservation of the environment than anyone else I know. So I think that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
rad.
I feel like it's unexpected and a lot of people like have a
It's almost like a
misconception.
stereotype where
It
it's like
is.
it's just wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The people that are super like grew up
Like,
avid
it's not
hunters.
a manifest destiny thing. It's just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Where do you land in the hunting realm?
I
John?
love to hunt, but I hate the kill.
Sure.
And I've hunted elk, and my dad grew up hunting pheasant in the Midwest.
Sure.
And I love walking around the mountains. But when it comes to that moment, I can't do that. You know, some people are built to do things. I don't dig ditches, you know, like some people are just like built to do things, and I just don't have that in me.
Interesting.
But I'll go hunting. I'll let everybody else. I really enjoy the outdoors aspect of it all. But like, yeah, the moment of the kill, that's not. And even once it's skinned and it becomes meat, I'm good. I'm back in
good.
the game.
I appreciate that angle because, you
And
know,
I'll help drag an elk out of a mountain lion. I'm good with that.
right. And you should be proud of how you feel about that because that's how you feel about that. It shouldn't be always comfortable for everyone to kill things. We
probably
shouldn't
for the
think
best.
it's probably for the best. You know, even though you want me to be out there, you know,
Me?
rifling humans. Some of us,
I did not say that.
some of us have a hard time.
I
with the actual-
recognized that my verbiage was unclear. No, I did not suggest you on people.
No, but this is one of the things I love about John and the things that that I respect are people that have healthy can say things even if it might be counter to how we're supposed to be, whether it's forms of masculinity or other things. That's what I love about John. One of the many things I love about John.
Should we do like things we love about John?
Yeah, please.
Oh, is this a segment?
Can we now?
Things we love.
Ben, cue the music.
Some new theme music.
He's already got something to do.
Things we love about John.
No, I like to tell people I'm the worst Montanan.
Really?
No.
Well, it's really unfortunate then that you're in the segment Things We Love About John, because we all go around and we say something we love about John, and also it ends with John saying something he loves about John.
Yeah.
What an opportunity.
Okay, but I don't
Cut
like
to
this
commercial.
We are thrilled to be supported by the one, the only, the legendary M&M Bar and Grill.
Dun, 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 dun.
Did you know that if you're listening to this episode right now on its release date, which is a Thursday, you could pop in your earbuds, waltz down to 17 North Main Street in Uptown Butte, and listen to us while you enjoy our $20 tenderloin dinner. Every Thursday is the M&M's steak night, which includes fries or a baked potato and grilled Texas toast. Oh my God, I'm such a sucker for Texas toast. That's a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, I tell you what, my go-to meal at the M&M, the King of Clubs Club sandwich. Now, I'm going to tell you how spoiled I am for just a hot minute here. The M&M is literally 20 feet from my desk. But, I'll just do the waltzing. I'll go down to the M&M. They'll whip me up a King of Clubs right in front of me while I sit at the counter and, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And they've got some killer merchandise from their Long Live the M&M shirts to some sweet vintage throwbacks that I know 5518s had a hand in creating.
That was a fun one. We got a picture from an old-timey hat. We rebuilt that thing, and it is back to life, just like the M&M. It's such a fun design. So eat at the icon, and then you can take home a little piece of that Butte history, right?
You got it. That's the M&M Bar and Grill at 17 North Main Street in Uptown Butte. We are proudly supported by the Covalite Theater. The Covalite Theater is where all the cool kids are hanging out these days, I hear, John.
Uptown Butte.
Uptown Butte. It's at 215 West Broadway. Little address, plug it into your Google Maps, and head there basically any night of the week to catch all sorts of stuff. Like
The Covalite's like the crossroads of the art culture right now.
100%. I mean, there's nothing else like it happening in Butte right now.
2 theaters inside of that old church.
You two venues for the price of one, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they've got it all going on there. They've got open mic. They've got all sorts of other events you can catch. Comedy, film, dance lessons, vaudeville, burlesque, workshops like drink and draw.
Oh, drink and draw is always fun. You've got to go to it.
It's so fun. It's so fun. You drink and you draw, and that's basically it, but it's great.
It's a win for everybody.
It's a win for everybody. You can rent their space for private events. And mostly you can just go boogie to some awesome live music.
Yeah, the Covalite's doing a great job.
So head to the Covalite Theater at 215 West Broadway in Butte, Montana. You can check out their complete event listing and get tickets for upcoming shows at covalitepresents.org.
Hey, Katie, do me a favor, right? Close your eyes for a sec. Take a journey with me. You're out on the sidewalk of 5518. Maybe you're taking in one of those beautiful new window displays, soaking it in, making sure that it's got that Katie magic. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, and there's a slight breeze. But then you take a big, deep breath because you're proud of yourself. And that's the moment when you notice a hint of that familiar scent that often dances between the buildings of Uptown Butte. Then you hear it. And you know where I'm going with this, right? Oh, Juice, hit me with that. Rip it, dunk it, eat it. Rip it, grip it, dunk it, eat it. Yes, Katie, you guessed it. We are supported by our friends over at Pork Chop John's.
Oh, PCJs. Nothing beats a loaded pork chop sandwich. Except maybe I really just hammer down those pork nuggets. I can't help it. I love those things.
They're so good.
They're so good. They're addicting. And then I have that jingle stuck in my head for the next 2 days.
Grip it, it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
So good.
Pork Chop John's is home to the original pork chop sandwich. It was first opened in 1932.
Ugh.
And then the Orzati family took it over in 1969. Those guys are just the best. I'd say they had some big shoes to fill, but maybe it's more like they've got a big pork chop sandwich to eat? I don't know. But just know that PCJ's is in some very good hands.
And I just learned they wholesale all over the northern part of the country.
It's an operation.
Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, Idaho. For you and us to get our PCJ fix, there's 2 locations in Butte. The Uptown Restaurant at 8 West Mercury Street has a sweet, old school counter and the sweetest little walk-up window.
Oh, I love that.
I love the window. And then the downtown location with a full dining room and the drive-through, because like sometimes I just can't get out of my car. And that's at 2400 Harrison Ave.
And feel free to stop at either. Get your pork chop sandwich, get those pork nuggets that Katie's gonna hammer, and then you go and you rip it, grip it, eat it, rip it, grip it, dunk it, eat it.
What's that?
Well, when we think about Montanans, right? It's like the hunting, the fishing, that sort of outdoorsman.
Well-
That's like a stereotype, right? Or like the preconceived notion of
I
the
guess so,
outside, right?
but I hate it.
It is what it is, right? I'm not patient enough to be a good fisherman. I just am not. I just get bored, and I move on. Right? And hunting, I'll walk a rifle around any mountain range that exists here, but I probably won't use it. Just how I am.
Yeah, but I born and raised here, and I don't hunt or fish.
Yeah, I guess you're.
And I
pretty
have
bad
a
one
kid-
as well. Let's hang out.
No,
No, but
We're
you know
still
what I mean. But,
worthy.
we're of course we are.
of being Montana.
Well, Montana is a layered onion. It's like Shrek.
yeah,
There's a
it
lot
is.
of layers to peel back.
Montana's like Shrek,
And it's
which is
getting
an
better.
amazing,
Yeah.
cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
That is.
Let's go back to that segment.
One of
just
the
for a minute.
I was going
Things
to
we
say,
love
are
about
we
John.
trying to skirt around something that I thought was really fun?
things I love about John.
Right back to it.
No, yeah, I hear you. Well, Montana is one of those places that has attached labels to it all over the place, and it only gets more and more every day.
Hashtag Yellowstone.
Well, you're in Bozeman right now.
I live in Bozeman.
Don't
you-
say that too loud.
Quick
But
sidetrack.
yeah, go ahead.
Have you lived in Bozeman the whole time you lived in Montana?
No,
Where else have you lived in Montana?
for most of it, I've lived in Big Sky,
Okay.
which is, for our listeners who don't know, it's the most authentic Montana.
Certainly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's more authentic than Walkerville, likely.
Now I feel bad because I don't want to be dissing Big Sky.
No, we're not dissing it.
We're not dissing.
There's
it.
a lot to love about Big Sky.
There's a lot to love about Big Sky. There's a lot of people and great things going on in Big Sky.
It's
It
true.
truly is.
It's true, and they're part of the ecosystem of all of it. And
I'm
we
with
need it.
that.
We need it all, and it's a vacation destination that employs all these guys like me who become coaches.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and further
I'm thankful for its existence.
and further the reach of fun.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It was just a little joke. It's just a little joke.
Just a little joke. Okay, you mostly lived in Big Sky.
I mostly lived in Big Sky, and yeah, I mean that's where I got to really explore the mountains and do all the things we've been talking about. It was fantastic. But then eventually you gotta get out of some places, and I had to get out of there.
Did the 1923 phenomenon change some things in your mind?
What's the 1923 phenomenon?
Like you
Or
mean
not
Yellowstone?
the Yellowstone. Sorry, 1923 was the Yellowstone version that was filmed here in town.
Oh, right,
The
the
right.
Yellowstone.
Right. I'll know these things when I'm a Butin. I promise.
Well,
Mutant.
Butin. That stuff, I don't know when that came to be, but I didn't really see a lot of that when I was up there. I think people want to come. I think people are attracted to the whimsy of a Western lifestyle, a separation from modern whatever they're doing. So I think that's rad that people want to do that, and there should be a place for people to go, and Big Sky is a good place for that.
We're tourism. That's like our main industry.
Tourism, yeah.
We have to get on board with that. It's making us money.
Right.
It's like creating jobs and stuff. It's not all good, but it's also not all bad.
I'm thankful for it. The tourism brought me here. Tourism is where I cut my teeth, as they say. And yeah, so I'm thankful for it. I think people should come out. And the one thing Montana has going for it is that when people come to Montana, they come to do stuff.
Right.
Like, that's pretty rad.
They're not coming to just sit up a chair and
No,
sit there.
they come to do stuff. So I dig that. And so I lived in Big Sky for all that time, and then moved to Bozeman. Maybe I've been there 2 years, maybe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not long.
And we're gonna drag you to Butte.
I hope.
We're all working on it. Let's manifest that.
I do hope.
Manifest destiny.
Well, I mean, just yesterday, Cassie and I went cross country skiing. We did 5 miles up the Molten Trails just north of town.
Mm.
And then later that night, we went to Fairmont Hot Springs. Now, if you think about that day in the terms of it being an outsider visiting here, that's like a pinnacle day for a
Sure.
vacation, right?
It's like the best day.
and that was
ever.
a Sunday for us.
Mhm.
Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
And the snow was perfect.
Yeah.
Margot Puppy was just romping in the snow. She just looked like a furry ball of joy.
Yeah.
It was just,
I saw the video. It was like an anime character.
I got some pics.
Mm.
We all got the update.
that's true. Sent out the bat
Margot
signal.
Yeah.
Puppy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, that's just one of those things where, you know, we get to live here. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
And
Well put.
we can't forget that.
Well put.
And one of the things I think that you do a really good job of that I really admire is the fact that you take that tourism, you've built upon that, and you use it as a gift to give away to people. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Well, I think it all comes back to the fact that you love the outdoors and you don't have to share that with people. You don't have to help other people enjoy it. But you do. And I think that's a really admirable skill and a career path that you've chosen.
Yeah. I think it's something that fills me up to watch other people. I think I'm at that tipping point in life where performance of these activities used to be my end all be all, you know?
Like you need a rage.
Like
You just need to rip double blacks.
yeah, like you need to rage and push yourself and go and go and go. And, you know, just be like physically moving your body all the time. And I've evolved in it I still love doing all the things, but I get so much more joy out of watching other people's eyes electrify and watching the connections and creating, and just helping create just that desire or that motivation to keep pushing with something. So I'm sure Ben can relate to me in that sense. I'm guessing Ben can relate to me in that sense.
Probably in every sense.
I think he's a little further behind. His pectorals are still quite tight, and I'm starting to get a little bit. This avocado is starting to soften, but you get what I'm saying. you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I think it's a true gift for me to grow and to just watch others. Like, I just want to maintain my own self enough to be able to do it with others now. I'm not in the push. I'm wearing overalls, for goodness sake. We've given up on the belt.
You're just going straight over the shoulder.
We're just going straight over the shoulder.
That's efficiency.
I'm just keeping it between the lines of recreation at this point. No, I jest. But no, yeah, it is a true thing. Like, just to say that, like, find someone, if you're out there recreating, find someone that loves, you know, that makes you happy doing it with. Pick someone that like really excites you. If people aren't exciting you while you do something, or if you're not feeling excited while you do something, shift the gears, because maybe it's the scenario, not the recreation you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's boom. PSA.
Katie and I talked about how cool some of the adaptive equipment actually is just this afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, there's some cool stuff out there. I mean, it's a world I don't know much about,
Sure.
but I mean, there's just some like crazy equipment that people can use or borrow or purchase or build, and it gets people outside. But like the engineering is phenomenal.
Yeah, this is another
Can you
tasty
speak to that at all?
cupcake.
Wow.
equipment is very cool, and it catches people's eyes and catches people's attention. There's a lot of equipment to support people getting out there.
Do you have any specific pieces of equipment that you either use a lot or think are extra cool?
Are extra cool.
Yeah.
Or extra fun.
I'm going to back this conversation up 2 steps,
Take it back.
whatever you call it.
Moonwalk.
Equipment is awesome, and we see it out there, and people are using it, and it's been invented by brilliant minds, and it needs to exist to get the maximum number of people out there. It's rad. It's what we do. I just want to, before I start chatting about equipment, I want to talk about the philosophy of the equipment and the philosophy of coaching in general, and that's least restrictive environment. We try to create the least restrictive environment for a person, and there are so many things that you can restrict in this world, and the obvious ones are physical ranges of motion, things like that. So could we, for skiing, for example, could I put a person in an apparatus where someone else drives that apparatus down a mountain? They don't have to do anything. And then we bubble wrap that person. So like they really don't need to do anything, essentially. Is that equipment cool? Yeah. But is it always necessary? Not always. Because that's a very restrictive experience. If you want to come out and get all these empowering feelings and learn how to do things and push yourself to feel how you do hard things, to do everything for someone else would be ineffective. So in coaching, least restrictive environment means starting with less and adding equipment as you need it. So there is a lot of equipment in the world, and it does good things. I've seen it used very poorly, and I've seen it used really well. But ultimately, if you're a person out there looking to use adaptive equipment, you should be having this conversation. Why are we using this equipment? And how can I do it the way I want to do it? Mm-hmm. Whether that's independently, for a long time, for one day, for safety, for whatever reason you're doing it, are you having that conversation with the people you're doing it with? And I think that's a piece. So then to go to the equipment, yes, there's the equipment exists to get as many different people out there as possible. Shapes, types, abilities, body, physical abilities, intellectual abilities. I think if I were going to pick one, my favorite piece of equipment, I've never, ever been asked this question.
This is hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah, we do that.
Mm-hmm.
I call it cupcake journalism.
I mean, we have different labels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't put me in a box, Patrick.
I don't have a specific piece. This is a cop out. My favorite equipment is equipment that gets somebody to do something they think they couldn't in the most independent and or their desired method of doing it. The piece of equipment that electrifies someone's eyes. That is my favorite piece of equipment. And that changes every single day in the snow sports world, in the river world, in the hunting world, there's so much equipment, and it's beautiful that it exists, but it's only really worthwhile if it electrifies the eyes or the mind.
Amen.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
It's not a cop-out.
It's not?
I don't think so.
Welcome to the Tao of recreation. No,
it's good. It's good.
The one thing that I talked a little bit about how, like, basically what I love what you do. I love how you do it. I love why you do it. I love the fact that you're taking some of your passion and you're sharing it with as many people as possible. I think that's really admirable. One of the questions that I ask everybody on this podcast is, if we could time warp 100 years into the future and look back at this time, because you're creating ripples with what you do in our society, in our communities, in the recreation industry, you're creating ripples, whether you like it or not. What do you think people in the future are going to say about this time in adaptive recreation, and how will this time be remembered?
Man, that's a good question. This time will be remembered, hopefully, for the shift from doing things for people, the shift for doing things for people that are lesser than. For example, the old school model of adaptive recreation is, let's raise money for these poor people who are disabled, so that they can go outside because their lives are so bad. You know, that pity model, to a shift of communities that work to remove barriers and lift everyone up is good for the people that we're lifting and good for the people that are doing the lifting. So that concept that, or at least I hope, we're shifting into a place where we're listening to people with disabilities and their perspectives, and using that to inform why and how we're doing things, and to not just rely on feeling bad for people to do good things for them. I hope every volunteer that comes to our program that I work for now feels like, doesn't feel bad for anyone, but feels happy to be part of a community and feels like they're growing by doing with others. So I think we're in an interesting phase for that. I think that could be cool. I think that's what I hope.
Well, you're doing it.
We're trying.
It's half the battle. So if we didn't have people like you trying, then we'd be in I don't even know. I don't even want to know.
Thank God we don't have to find out.
Patrick, if somebody is looking for your services, if they have a family member, a friend, or someone who might need adaptive recreation, or themselves, how do they get a hold of you, or how do they reach?
How do we be sassy?
How do we get?
Y'all want to be sassy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can join Sassy if you want. There's two parts here. Ability MT Montana, abilitymt.org can get you in touch with the organization I work with now, and they work in multiple different areas of support, from advocacy to independent living to recreation to all different things, self-directed care. So abilitymt.org is one way. If you're in Montana, in the Bozeman, Helena, Butte realm, you can also reach out to me. My email is Patrick Quinn, PatrickQuinn, WWC@gmail.com. And that can keep the conversation rolling. If you have questions about Sassy, or if you have questions about doing any of the things outside of our area, I'm happy to chat about ways to recreate. I think those are the main ways to get a hold of me.
Well, thanks so much for getting sassy with us tonight.
Gosh, thanks for feeding me cupcakes, man.
It's the least we could do. The least we could do.
I'm just upset we don't have real cupcakes.
I know.
I know.
Golly.
And we never did the segment.
Things we love about
Things we love about John.
Things we love about John.
Just keep saying that. That'd be good.
Just you saying it and act like there's a segment, and we never actually do the segment.
I
Ben
know.
puts in the music and everything. We just go back.
I've infiltrated.
Our next guest is going to be like, what is this segment? This is the most self-indulgent podcast I've ever been on.
Patrick, thanks for traveling over from Bozeman. We hope that we can drag you kicking and screaming to the Butte realm.
Thank you.
I think it'll be very hard.
The vortex of Butte. Let's pull you in, brother.
I love you all. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
Nice.
being here.
Thanks, man.
Of all the places.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And thank you to our guest, the Chief Enthusiast Officer, Silly Biscuit, and Adaptive Recreationist, Patrick Quinn. If you're a fan of the show, please don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. over on our YouTube channel, and be sure to check out Of All the Places podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Of All the Places is produced by Morris Mountain Productions in partnership with 5518 Designs. Our theme song is made specifically for us by your favorite power disco duo, Desperate Electric. Of course it is. For Katie and Ben, this is John, and thanks so much for listening to Season 2 of All the Places podcast. Take it, Jude.